Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys and gals. Today we're going to install the Alpha Racing chain adjuster onto my 2023 BMW S1000RR. Now, Alpha Racing is it's a German company that supplies race parts to the BMW World Superbike race team. So I know they're pretty legitimate, but unfortunately these parts came without any directions, and their website also, as far as I could tell, doesn't contain any directions. Now, the thing about these chain adjusters is that they also include spools, and so that means that I will not be using this spool anymore. So that's one thing. And the second thing to keep in mind is that right now the axle goes in from the right hand side and it comes out on the left hand side, and this is where the nut secures the axle. But I do know, even though there are no directions, that once these things get installed, the axle is going to come in from here and the axle nut is going to move over to this side and it gets fastened here. Go ahead and assemble this first and then I'll get back. All right, so assembly of these parts was relatively straightforward. There is this spool thingy here, and on the back there is a clip, all right, so that opening of the clip fastens onto the swing arm. So these two require a 5mm X key, Allen key, and they just kind of bolt right in. And on the back you have this thingy here with the lip, so the lip is pointing out. For example, this is the left hand side, so if this were to be installed like so, with the spool facing down, you can see that the lip is facing forward towards the front of the bike, and it gets connected on in this part over here. Okay, and then on the right hand side, it's pretty much the same thing. We've got the opening facing forward, and this locks on to the swing arm, and it looks like this. So pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and tighten these things down with Loctite. Unfortunately, there are no instructions on how much to torque them down, so just use your common sense, I guess, and snug them down with the Loctite. So let's do that, and then I'll get back. All right, so I discovered that there were two washers, 1 and 2, and these washers need to be inserted here before they get installed onto the chain adjusters. So the way to install the washer is that there is a hollow side, and the hollow side goes in and fits this. Okay, so now this goes and gets installed with the Loctite over there. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so there's that. And there's this. All right, so the axle has been removed. The next thing is to remove this nut here. It requires a 13mm wrench. So go ahead and loosen this up and then pull this whole thing out. All right, so both sides have been fastened. I used a little bit of Loctite and just snugged it up. Make sure that this thing went into that groove as best as possible. Likewise on this side. As best as possible, and then a little bit of Loctite and tighten that up. Now I'm going to move this back and align it with the holes. Insert the axle and see what we have. So the axle went in without any problems. You can see on the left hand side it has a lip that holds this in place, so it's not going anywhere. Alright, this is the right hand side, and I'm using the axle nut that they provided. As far as I can tell, we're not going to use any washer because this sort of comes in with a built-in washer over there, is what I'm thinking. Alright, I've torqued this down to 125 Newton meters. I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous about not using a washer and then flipping the axle from the left to the right. So as a precautionary measure, I've used a permanent marker so that if this axle ever gets loose, I should know. But other than that, I think it looks really, really nice. It matches the blue over there. And I'm going to use the spool over here. On the other side, the chain tension looks pretty good. It's supposed to be 45 to 50 millimeters, and I think that is about right. This thing looks good. And yeah, overall I'm pretty pleased. I'm going to take it off the stand and then... Alright, I've got the rear stand on the spool that came with the Alpha Racing chain adjuster. Everything looks good. This is good height. So that will allow you to insert a tire warmer without any problems. Yeah, I think it looks pretty darn good. 13 over here. See it. Okay. I like it a juice.